Do you ever sit down to work on a big project and 15 minutes later you're watching a video of someone steam cleaning a rug and then the shame hits and you're like, why am I so lazy? Why can't I focus? You aren't lazy. You are fighting for a war of your attention and you are losing. Your inability to focus isn't a character flaw. Your brain has been hijacked by the richest and smartest people in the world. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you 10 ways to reclaim your brain and finally get your focus back without the use of stimulants or medication. So, what is brain rot? It is the constant stream of short form content that is fragmenting our ability to think deeply. The owners of Meta and TikTok and YouTube that we're on right now, people's brains respond really quickly, quick dopamine hits to those very short form videos. And everyone is guilty of watching them and enjoying them. I mean, I watched one the other day with this guy off Instagram and he was cleaning these dryer vents, and you cannot imagine the amount of lint. It was like a lint snake that just kept coming out of the dryer. And okay, then I'd lost focus, right? It takes us 27 minutes to get back focused once we lose our focus. That is the cost of those quick checks. Checking social media, checking stats, all of those things oftentimes also leave us feeling empty instead of more like fulfilled and joyed by the time we read them and check them and all that. And then what was I doing? And then you start feeling bad about yourself. And so we have to intentionally work to rewire our brain. And here are 10 easy ways to do it. And some of them are kind of fun. Number one is put your phone in the other room during work hours, during your deep work time. So you've got to be time blocking on your calendar. Put that phone away. Remember, every time you look at it, it's 27 minutes. Number two is the boredom gap. When was the last time you allowed yourself to actually be bored? Like sit and stare at a wall for 5 minutes. Set a timer. Call it meditating. Whatever you want, but sit there for 5 minutes, no noise, no apps, no devices. You actually feel kind of like you could hear yourself think again, right? But it works. It starts to create muscle memory in our brain and helps us learn to think longer and to feel focused longer. Number three is create friction. So if you have a kryptonite, if Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube, whatever is your kryptonite, right? Make it where you can only log into it through a browser and don't save the password. Oftentimes, 5 to 10 seconds of friction will keep us from doing that when we should be doing something else. Okay. So I'm not saying like don't ever do that. Like you're actually literally watching this or listening to this onto an app that could be your kryptonite, but making sure we're not doing that during our deep work, deep parenting, marriage time, and it becoming like an all out distraction, right? Because the screens and the apps, like they encourage the skimming of it and it just makes it go like so much easier into it. All right. Number four is analog first in your morning. And so instead of waking up in the mornings and popping up in your phone and immediately starting to scroll your emails and then, oh, my calendar, and then I need to check the message and then I need to send this on Teams and then I got to check Slack, having a paper planner with a paper to-do list of your big three for the day or your big one for the day will help you have some deep thinking time and prioritize what you're going to do when, instead of letting the world prioritize that for you. Okay. Number five is to, and I like this one. This one's kind of fun, is to create a dopamine menu. Like what? What is that? An actual note in your phone or a list on your refrigerator that is things that create dopamine. So like 5 to 10 things that are like dopamine hits for you that are not a screen. So it could be petting your dog. It could be going on a walk. It could be doing jumping jacks. It could be eating a piece of dark chocolate. It could be watering a plant. It could be dancing in your living room, putting on a record, whatever it is that doesn't require a screen. And then when you're needing a moment, go do that first. And that helps us to cut down on those short attention span, because what we're trying to do is combat the system to keep our focus long so that we are able to do deep work when we need to get deep work done. So I'm not saying like don't ever look at these apps. Like I'm not like a teetotaler and don't ever do this, but how do we get away from that brain rot and be able to increase our focus without needing medication and stimulants. And the reason that we scroll is usually because we're bored or stressed. And that quick hit, okay, it's nothing to feel guilty about. Remember, these are the richest and smartest people in the world, the most talented scientists in the world sit in rooms and figure out how to suck our focus the fastest and keep us on their platforms the longest. And so we have to work to combat that so that we can continue to move along in our journey, assuming your journey is not to just be a TikTok scroller for the rest of your life, right? All right, if you like this content and you want to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos, make sure you subscribe or follow on the platform that you're watching from, because we truly love building community around personal growth and us all growing in our journeys together. Number 6 is the silent walk. Okay, I have a confession to make before I talk about that one. I said there were 8, but there are 9. There's a bonus. Oh, doesn't everyone love a good bonus? So the silent walk. So take out the AirPods. Don't be talking on the phone, no audiobooks, no podcasts, and go for a walk, even if it's just for 10 minutes in the sunshine. And so many times that clears the fog and allows our brain to practice thinking. I know that sounds like crazy. Our grandparents would probably think that we were nuts, but because we're constantly having information put in, we have to also take time to make sure our brain's getting good executive functioning at thinking and putting information out. Okay. Number 7 is the Red Dot Audit. If you are still having that number in the corner that shows you how many emails, you know what, Betty? Turn that BI off. You don't have to have anybody tell you how many unread emails you have, because you don't have to have a notification on that app. That was one of the best things I ever did, is I turned off all the notifications. Because remember, every time you get a buzz or a notification, 27 minutes of your focus is gone. Turn those things off. And then you will only be opening the apps that you genuinely want to see, not that someone is, dragging you into, right? Or a buzz in your pocket. Number 8 is buy an alarm clock, the bedroom ban. If you are going to bed with that phone in your hand and picking it up first thing in the morning, you can charge it in another room. You don't have to charge it beside your bed. Right? Like we needed someone to give us that permission. Put an analog alarm clock in there and plug it in downstairs. So that way you remember that you are the most important part of your day, not what everyone else is trying to drag you into. And number 9, I know, it's like the bonus one, but I love this one, is using a physical timer, like a kitchen timer, okay, or a timer on your watch, and physically timing yourself to work on something for a specific period of time. So this helps with increase our focus, but it also helps us get rid of procrastination and doing things that we don't want to get done. Rebecca was telling me the other day that she, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for being here. Glad you're watching. She's behind the camera and helps us get everything done that we need done to get our shows published each week for you guys. But she was telling me she really is trying to get her closets cleaned out at her house, and she didn't want to do it. So she set a 20-minute timer. And you know what? After the 20 minutes was over, she was done, but she got at least 20 minutes of it done. So those physical timers help to combat atrophy in our brains and help us to work on things for longer periods of time. And so that could be physical or mental for sure, because we're having sustained focus on something. And so there are your 9 habits to help you combat brain rot. If you need somebody to walk in this journey with you and you are ready to go to the next level, it is not for everyone, but I do offer exclusive leadership coaching to business owners and founders and entrepreneurs. So you can click the link in my show notes and schedule a call, and we can discover together if working together would be something that would benefit you in your journey. Because remember, your revenue, your parenting, your marriage is directly tied to your ability to focus. And so protect your brain like it's your most expensive asset, because it truly is.